Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, bonjour, g'day. Whatever time of day you've taken to join us, that's right. I'm not going to edit it out, I've got to save my edit for later in the show. So whatever time of day you've taken to join us, thank you and hello. You've joined from the Batcave, where apparently I can't speak this week. I'm your host, the unable to speak Red Thunder, Adam Gerard, and with me as always, my colleagues in crime, the honey badger himself, Terry O'Neill.
Hello, hello.
And the yet to be named but drugs about MK, Braden Hurd.
Hey guys.
How is everybody this week?
Good. Fantastic. It's great.
That's a great description, thanks.
It's a great time to be alive as a nerd. It's fantastic. Not for me, on a multi-lad. It's like a parfait of nerdy greatness for me this week.
How many litres of jism did you guys pump out? Do you reckon?
6 or 7 at least.
My girlfriend's not walking, so I know that much. So it's...
I really needed to pick up after watching the end of season. After watching the series finale of Sons of Anarchy, I was just all depressed and shit. And then I watched these 2 episodes and life got good again.
Yeah, I don't rate Sons of Anarchy at all.
Oh, I loved it.
I don't. I'm sorry, I just can't.
Okay.
There's nothing about that show. Just nothing.
Well, each to their own. Some people like Sons of Anarchy, some people like Superman, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't like Superman either.
Yeah,
That's my point. That's what I was trying to say.
Ah, right.
It was a metaphor.
I'm the asshole of the group.
Foreshadowing. So it was a pretty big week overall for nerds, for TV, for us watching movies, because for the first time ever I didn't attempt to kill myself with the 1,000 paper cuts with my notebook, so that was good.
Yeah, that is always a good plus. That's a good sign.
You know,
the viewing room is actually nice and clean.
And the other upside is the fact that I'm very happy because this week I get to do my Michael Caine impersonations. I love Michael Caine impersonations. Master Wayne, are you taking the piss with this fucking log that's on top of you? Just lift it off, you big bloody Nazi. I'm Michael Caine. So yeah, that's a sneak peek of what you've got to look forward to. Keep listening, folks. I promise to make much. I just can't speak tonight.
You can't.
So with that in note, we're just going to take it straight to TV where I have to talk for a little while.
We don't have to talk for a little while.
My name is Oliver Queen. After 5 years in hell, I have come home with only one goal: to save my city. To the rest of Starling City, I am someone else. I am something else.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive. A friend recently gave me the idea for a new name, and something tells me it's gonna catch on.
James Gordon, Alfred Pennyworth. We're gonna get the guy that did this, sir.
New boy, are you?
You'd say.
Good luck, mate.
Is that what you're saying? You don't have to talk, or you talk for a little while. You don't talk at all during TV. It's your quiet time.
So you're making me talk, you son of a bitch. I made a pact to the universe, and you're all like, "You're gonna talk? Go on, talk." You just poke the fucking bear, don't you? You go to the zoo, and you're all like, "Don't feed the lions. Don't tell me what to do, sign. I'll feed them. Have some popcorn, lions. Have a baby." Some woman's all like, "Why are you throwing my baby in the lions?" You're like, "Shut the fuck up, woman. It's the lion's hungry. It's going to sleep tonight." Take it away with TV, Terry.
This week we had episode 9, The Man in the Yellow Suit. It's the entrance of the main villain we've all wanted. It is. Yes. We've all wanted
it's
this.
Not.
It is.
Some of us have the tiniest little bit of class, and we want grog.
Anyway, our opening scene, we're greeted by the Flash chasing down the Man in the Yellow Suit through Central City at Christmas time. Then we wind back 24 hours where Barry and Joe are trimming the tree, and Joe receives a call from work saying that a DA wants to talk to him. Barry and Iris exchange gifts early, and Iris receiving a replica of her mother's wedding ring she lost on on a Year 5 excursion to the zoo, and Barry receives a top-of-the-line microscope, which Iris thinks is lame. Eddie then enters, who finds out that Barry has given Iris a replica wedding ring as taken back a little bit from it. Over at Star Labs, Barry gives Wells, Cisco and Caitlin gifts, but Wells does not emulate the Christmas cheer since the accident happened so close to Christmas. Moving over to the cafe, Eddie asks Iris to move in with him, which is apparently a big thing in America and Canada. It just kind of happens here.
Once you've got them pregnant and you have to start paying the child support, you're just like,
might as well. Basically.
Will you clean my dishes?
Over in a shopping mall car park, Caitlin bumps into a homeless man she recognises, and to her shock, it turns out to be Ronnie, who seems to have been affected by the dark matter from the explosion as well. Jump over to Mercury Labs, where we have a doctor walking through a warehouse with 2 security guards when alarms start to sound. The doctor runs off, locking himself in a secure vault as he witnesses the two guards killed by a mysterious yellow blur. Barry and the police are quickly there to take Doctor's statement. Which he mentions to Barry that he saw a man in the yellow suit. Joe reveals to Barry that he knew that the man in the yellow suit was back. Starlab, Team Flash and Joe over at Starlab's Team Flash and Joe are talking why the man in the yellow suit would be at Mercury Labs and discover that they are playing around with tachyons. Back at the cafe, Iris and Caitlin are chatting. Caitlin wants to know about the Burning Man, and Iris asks about Barry. Caitlin has a brilliant idea of telling Iris that she should just talk to Barry herself. Over at Central City Police Department, we meet Tina McGee from Mercury Labs, and we get some insight of her relationship with Harrison. She is then asked by Barry and Harrison to lend the prototype to them to bait the man in the yellow suit out to the open. At Star Labs, Cisco has come up with the trap to catch the opposite Flash, but Caitlin isn't listening and tells Cisco she knows Ronnie is still alive and needs his help to find him. Barry is sitting at his workstation staring at the spiderweb murder board of his mother and has the memory of the night his mother died. Barry is then spooked by Iris arriving, telling Barry that Eddie has asked her to move in with him. Iris says that Eddie thought Barry would be weirded out by it because he thinks that he's in love with her. Barry says, "Don't worry about it, it's just been a really busy year," and Iris leaves with Barry with a sad look on his face. Barry then peers out the window and sees the man in the yellow suit, and we are brought back to our opening scene. The chase then ends at a football stadium with Barry and the man in the yellow suit going toe-to-toe, but the man in the yellow suit comes out on top saying that he and Barry have been doing this for a long time, and he's always one step ahead of Barry. Over at Star Labs, Barry starts spazzing out because he's no longer the fastest man alive. Wells says to him to calm down and they have a trap, they just need the bait. Over at the police station, Tina McGee is there talking to Joe and Barry. Barry convinces her in very aggressive fashion that she should definitely lend the prototype to them so they can bait the man in the yellow suit out. Eddie then appears and blackmails Joe into letting him and his task force to come along to Star Labs to apprehend the man in the yellow suit. Cisco and Caitlin then track Ronnie down to an underground maintenance area. Ronnie says he isn't Ronnie and to leave him alone, saying his new name, Firestorm. At Star Labs, Team Flash have readied themselves and told Barry to leave while the man in the yellow suit comes. Cisco and Caitlin are talking in front of the pipeline. Caitlin says that she would have given anything to see Ronnie again, but now wishes that he had just died. Barry is visiting Iron Heights to see his father Henry, saying that he's failed, citing that he couldn't catch the man in the yellow suit, but Henry, Barry's father, says to stop sacrificing his life because of what happened to Nora, saying that the man in the yellow suit has taken enough of their lives already without Barry giving up his. At the West household, Iris is finishing trimming the tree off when Barry comes home and professes his love, which he recalls all the times he wished to tell her. He apologises for the crappy timing, but then that he cannot lie to her anymore. He then leaves while Iris does that whole girly thing where they cry and we don't know why, if they're happy or upset. At Star Labs, Cisco
because the Riddler.
At Star Labs, Cisco sets the trap for the man in the yellow suit, and it works. Wells, West, and Eddie and his task force confront the man in the yellow suit, to ask why he murdered Nora. The man in the yellow suit dismisses Joe and talks only to Wells, saying that his goals are beyond Wells's understanding. At which time, Will responds that saying he knew he was like the Flash, to which the man in the yellow suit responds by saying that most would say he's like his reverse. At which time, the force field they're using to hold him fails, and we see the man in the yellow suit pulls Wells into the area and proceeds to beat him. Joe striking the conductors of the field caused it to completely fail, granting our Reverse Flash to grab the tachyon prototype, taking out the task force, but mysteriously leaving Eddie alive. Reverse Flash then grabs Joe by the throat, but is interrupted by the Flash, whom Caitlin has called a few moments before. The Flash and Reverse Flash fight seemingly spiral through the roof and into the air, landing outside of Star Labs, and ends up with Barry getting his butt kicked, only to be saved by the new hero of the day, Firestorm. Reverse Flash says to Barry that the race isn't done and he'll see you soon. Ronnie asks them not to look for him anymore before taking off to the sky, Tony Stark style. At the Central City Police Department, Joe confesses that he knows about metahumans and that now he and Eddie are the only ones that outside Team Flash that know what's really going on. Star Labs Cisco's apologising for making a mistake with Phil. Harrison Wells brushes it off, saying that if they're going to apologise for anything, they should apologise for not telling him that Ronnie is still alive. And he promises on his life that he'll bring Ronnie home. Another touching scene at the Central City Police Department between Joe and Barry. Barry admitting his fear has kept him in Central City, but more precisely in the living room of his home for 14 years. Joe talks about how Barry coming into his home was the best thing he had done, how he had brought life and energy into the West household, and that he will always need his Barry Allen. Christmas at the West House, everyone is gathered having eggnog. Barry saying to Eddie and Iris that he's very happy for them moving in together. Cisco then has a chat to Joe West, saying that he noticed Barry gives off yellow lightning and the Reverse Flash gives off red, coming to the realization that they were both of them were there 14 years ago. In closing, we have our Wells closing scene, where Wells walks into the Gideon room and pulls out the Flash ring, opening up a new section of the room we haven't seen before, revealing a mannequin, and a Reverse Flash suit appears. He attaches what seems to be a tachyon prototype to it. The suit seems to charge while Wells' facial wounds heals, and he says Merry Christmas in the Reverse Flash voice. Am I good?
Yeah, it's a pretty good episode.
It was.
My throat is dry as well hell, so Braden, it's all up to you at the moment. I need to replenish my fluids.
Well, to begin with, that opening scene where Barry was chasing Reverse Flash, that sort of got me, straight off the bat. I was really excited. I was, very keen to see what was going on.
Terry made a squeal when we watched The Flash together. We didn't watch Arrow together. We watched The Flash together, and Terry did let out a high-pitched squeal when that happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty exciting. I've got a few theories.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
I like a theory.
Alright, so I've got a few theories. First one being that I didn't really think that there seemed to be any real point that the Reverse Flash was seeking out Barry. I mean, all he really did was just sort of give him a bit of a kicking and then piss off again.
But if can I interject?
Yep.
Okay, to me, that sort of made sense because whatever has pissed off the Reverse Flash has already set shit in motion way back when Nora was killed, right? So in terms of chronologically following the age of Barry Allen, to the Reverse Flash, this fight's been going on for 20-something years.
Well, he did say something like that, so that sort of goes back again to one of my other theories.
Yeah, go ahead.
With this one, I just sort of thought, there wasn't really any point to it there, and then you see the suit at the end, but you know that Wells himself wasn't in the suit, so it makes you think maybe it's, I don't know, something that maybe Wells was using to control Barry, to manipulate him into working harder at becoming faster, because his end goal is he wants him to get faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, okay.
So, I don't know, that was just one of my theories.
I have a theory on this as well, and you and I are touching very close to... Our theories are touching dicks right now. So keep going, and then I'll give you mine once you're done.
All right, hang on. I'm just trying to read my thing and remember what I was thinking. All right, so I did wonder if Reverse Flash was in fact Professor Zoom or Eddie Thorne and has travelled through time to get revenge on Barry for assuming that he's going to maybe take Iris away from him or something like that.
Yeah.
Which would explain how he was able to stay one step ahead of him, because Professor Zoom's ability is, instead of actually being able to move fast, he can sort of flow through time.
Yeah.
So that would sort of explain that. That might even explain why there was two speedsters at the time of Barry's mother's death. Maybe they both travelled through time somehow. Barry saved him, his younger self or something like that, while his mother was still killed. And then that would also explain why he didn't, when they were Reverse Flash didn't harm Eddie at Star Labs. And I also think maybe Harrison's involvement is what actually gives Eddie his powers in the future. I don't know. It's
Interesting.
there, but yeah, they're my theories. It was definitely a very solid episode.
Well, see, the theory that I had this week, because I thought something similar to what you thought in terms of the time travel and, is it Wells kicking his own ass or what the hell's going on? But then at the end when he had the suit and whatever, the way that I kind of looked at that was Wells's entire facility is now a prison, right? What if somehow he has, like, for instance, I know, I'm fairly certain anyway, Reverse Flash in one of the incarnations, the suit has the powers, not the man. What if, in theory, Wells doesn't need to entrap the man, or Wells, whoever, if you want to entrap Reverse Flash, you don't need to entrap the man, you need to entrap the suit.
Well, with that device that he put on the suit at the end sort of looked like it gave the suit the powers. But I was assuming that device he had was something to do with tachyons.
I can actually explain tachyons. I know the science behind tachyons. It's an actual particle. The reason I know this is not just because I'm a massive geek-sized nerd. It's because I'm about to be sounding like that. But anyway, it's because the final episode of Star Trek The Next Generation actually deals with tachyon particles and the fact that there's 3 timelines and these 3 different enterprises are blowing a tachyon particle at the tachyon stream at the same point in time, or the same place, but at 3 different times. And it causes a rip in reality that causes all the timelines to open up. Because in theory, the tachyon particle is a particle that moves faster than the speed of light. And if you can harness it, the theory behind it is 2 things. If you can harness it, you could get theoretical super speed. So tachyons, in theory, could explain the speed force and why Barry can power like he can. The other thing they can do, theoretically, is time travel. So by putting that... So let's say the suit lets you be a speedster, right? Now, hear me out. Suit lets you be a speedster, which means you can access the speed force. Okay. Now, Wells is all beaten up and all that sort of shit until he puts the tachyon thing on the suit. Which, in my opinion, the suit already is fast-powered. He puts the tachyon thing on the suit, and then he becomes a speedster somehow. So part of me wonders if, he wanted to learn how that guy took the Flash's powers. I'm not entirely sure that he is a speedster. I'm wondering if because he took because he has Reverse Flash's suit and he has that emitter, does that mean that he's worked out a way to tap into the Speed Force for himself? And his plan, like, my brain keeps going back to the fact that Wells seems to have 2 regrets in his life. Whatever happened to that last lady he talked about, the one he talked about being more married to the job, and the particle emitter thing, right? Is Wells trying to time travel to stop everything? He needs Barry Allen to be created so that he can go back in time and rewrite all the problems and fix everything.
Yeah, but Barry Allen wasn't created until the particle accelerator.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so there's Catastrophe 1, which whatever it is kills his wife, right? So then he somehow, because Riddler, right, he finds a way to be able to see the future, whatever it is. And because he can now see the future, he knows that somehow, like, he works out that if he creates the Flash, he can have access to the Speed Force, which will let him run back in time and completely rewrite back before that. So in his mind, even if he was Reverse Flash, just in theory, in his mind, killing Nora to create Barry, to put Barry in that lab at that moment, right, is okay, because when he goes back further and stops Event 1, this Reverse Flash never exists, Nora Allen is never killed, boom, reset, Barry gets a brand new life. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we're headed, and Barry Allen is actually like, I don't want a different life.
Yeah.
Like, almost like, oh my God, like this revelation of, whoever Wells is revealed to be, if Wells is the one that killed Nora, let's say, it's going to be that moment of, how do I be mad at this man who made me, but also in making me cause this?
Yeah.
And whatever. Now, if I can, you done with, I had a complete brain fart there, I apologise. Are you done with your theories?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to throw the floor over to Terry, because he brought up something else during the week about the two Flashes existing at the same place and Barry travelling through time. So do you want to explain to me what you were talking about there?
Okay, this comes back to a animated movie that has taken my number one spot, the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yep.
All right, so if you've seen that movie, what ends up happening is...
it's based on a comic book.
It is based on the comic book, obviously, yeah. But for lazy
just to cite
fat
the
people
reference
like me,
just in case somebody out there is nerd raging right now being like, hey, where's the comic? Damn it!
yeah, one of our 8 listeners, I'm projecting another 100% growth.
Wilson's doing his salmon ladder.
While
right.
listening.
He's Mr. Cross spinning up his salmon ladder right now, just all like, fucking Terry, it was a comic book first, you fat bastard. If you were on the salmon ladder, you'd know that.
That goddamn honey badger. So, basically, it comes back to the Flashpoint Paradox for me, where if you've read the comic, you've seen the animated movie. Zoom torments Barry to the point where he runs so fast, he actually breaks the timeline, goes back and saves his mother. And then we have this whole other universe. So for me, it actually comes back to, at some point in the future, TV series-wise, we will see Reverse Flash or Professor Zoom come, and they will end up doing that race like they did in the comic book and the movie. And then Barry actually literally he saved his mother, all happy days, and then he comes back, and then it's a completely different reality where and it comes back to that character growth where he realizes, well, this is the sort of sacrifice I've had to make.
Yep.
He'll have to go back again, beat himself to the scene, throw himself out of the time force. This is kind of weird paradox. This is where the paradox
I have the answer of get to the end, but I have the answer of how they'll avoid that part. But
so
go ahead.
Then he'll have to let his mother die.
Yep.
So that'll be a massive growth spurt for the character and everything like that. There was also another thing I wanted to mention about the suit, how he thought it was powered. I spent some time on Wikipedia, which I never do, and I think it was the Silver Age Flash. Who was the Flash after Jay Garrick, because I think he was the Golden Age.
He was indeed.
Yeah.
He was the Golden Age, Terry. Your favourite term of all time.
Golden Age. Silver Age Flash. Now, what it was revealed in there, which I took away from it, there is a suit that was buried with an atomic clock, which it has something to do with it, but the suit itself was powered.
Yeah. Right.
So, and this comes back to Jay Garrett's original rival, Jay Garrett's Reverse Flash called The Rival and everything like that.
Okay.
So that's where I actually took that from, because it's pretty clear that the suit got charged in a way. And the fact the Flash ring was in there as well just blew my mind.
You may have actually hit on something, because I can't think of the writer who's credited as the creator of this off the top of my head, but one of them is a former writer for DC.
Yeah. And
a lot of his storylines, he wrote Flash. That's why he's on this show. But a lot of his storylines borrowed from the Silver Age.
Yeah.
So I think you could be onto something there. Now, just to go back to your this is where the paradox problem comes in. They actually fixed that. There was kind of a remake of that same fight, and it came down to the option Barry was given what was save yourself.
Yeah, or save your mother.
Or save your mother.
Yeah.
And it's basically he taunts him being like, how fast can you run?
Yeah.
You have to pick one, and almost like the Dark Knight thing where it's like, choose one or the other to save.
Yeah.
And he ultimately has to, he does what he has to do.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that storyline. I think they'll probably condense it down to one episode, but it's going to be one hell of an
I think
episode.
it'll be 2.
Yeah, they probably will, because it's just
I could see a bit cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, you get the first part, then it's all like, you need to choose Barry Allen. And then it cliffhangers, even though, kind of like, or it might even be a mid-season finale. Kind of like this, like what you had with Arrow coming up.
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, we know, we as fans who understand know where that's going.
Yeah.
But the TV audience who only know the CW era are probably like, oh my god. Now they're gonna have to rename it to Diggle.
To Diggle. The Diggle and Canary Show.
The Digs.
The Digs.
Man. Just rename it to Man.
Just man.
Man.
Well, speaking of Arrow, we should actually probably delve deep into that, and I believe Braden's got something for us.
I do, but just before we do, I just want to point out one more thing about Flash, just a little fun fact. The actress who played-
Terry was so pumped about his smooth radio segue there, and you were just all like, nah, shut up, bitch. And I like it, Braden. Put him back in his place.
Yeah.
That's it. The honey badger's just, I'm out. I'm done.
Anyways, the actress who played Tina McGee in this episode also played Tina McGee in the original Flash series.
What is also a thing I spotted on Wikipedia, all things Wikipedia, because I spent so much goddamn time on it. Tina McGee's actually a staff member of Star Labs, not Mercury. I have a feeling that Mercury is actually a reference to Silver Age Flash as well.
Yeah, or no, Mercury is the Greek speedster.
Yeah.
So it's a reference to speed.
It also, just on the Wikipedia page, I just saw Mercury Labs or something like a rival was Mercury. So that's just it. I mean, they could be throwing all sorts of references at us and just blowing our mind constantly.
Mm.
But that's fine. I'm sure Adam will edit my smooth segue.
I won't, because you look like a dumbass. And that pleases me. That might actually fix my voice a bit. I might recover from the brain damage.
Yeah.
No, well, we just before we move on as well, just, I mean, obviously it is the mid-season finale, so Barry's now seen the guy.
Yep.
And we as the audience have that little bit of an Easter egg going, what the hell is going on, and so on and so forth. And just looking forward to what's coming up. I can't remember if we talked about it last week or not, or earlier this week, I guess, or not. Did we talk about the fact that Mark Hamill is coming back to the show?
No, we haven't talked about it. I posted on the Facebook page the other day.
Okay. Well, for those of you that haven't seen, Mark Hamill in the 90s Flash show did have a little bit more Flash synchronicity, kind of like Barry Allen's dad being the original Flash.
Oh, God, I love that.
Mark Hamill in the 90s played, as I think I brought it up on the podcast before, he was in 2 movie-length episodes about the Trickster.
Yep.
Now, in the comics, much as they do in all these sort of things, the Trickster was rebooted by somebody else taking the identity once the older Trickster had retired.
Yep.
They're actually bringing that storyline to the TV where there is a new Trickster and this old Trickster who is in prison with Flash's dad is kind of brought out to help understand and stop this new guy because and I like the fact from what I read, and I can understand why Mark Hamill would want it back. One, I get to take my character back, which I'll talk about when we get to Arrow. I've got a funny anecdote for that as well.
Okay.
But also, not only do I get to take this iconic character back, but I get to play the same character and kind of like play with time and reality and I like the idea of, like, hypothetically, let's say he as we all have noted, I don't know if you knew this or not, he plays the Joker. Right? And I imagine that hearing somebody else, hearing Troy Baker do the Joker, as much as you might be like, okay, I've retired the character, part of you wants to be like, those are my shoes, mate. You know what I mean? And so the idea of being able to play a part where you come back from the mindset of, I've played this part already, I've been the Trickster, and now somebody else has taken my identity and I get to come back and address that.
Yeah.
That's got to be so cathartic. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Plus, I think you'll be looking forward to it as well. I don't know if you've seen much of you being everybody else on this podcast and possibly everybody at home. I know Mr. CrossFit was a big fan of The Flash, so he's actually seen this and knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Mark Hamill's Trickster is very like his jokester. Is very like his Joker. So
that's
you've got that to look forward to.
Yeah,
live action Joker.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting to watch.
So yeah. Well, now moving on from Flash,
you son
Braden,
of a bitch.
how would you like to tell us about Arrow this week?
Obviously, we had a
just before you do that,
week with Arrow.
That's how you segue. Oh, what? Just before we move on to this week in Arrow, did you say? Are you trying to shit on my segues now?
Yeah, just want to go back to that Gotham episode we talked about 3 weeks ago.
Thank you, Braden. Thank you. You'll be receiving something in the mail soon for my marriage.
Yeah, which one would you like? 3 weeks ago, that would have been...
The mask?
Yeah. What about the mask would you like to talk about?
Wasn't the mask, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the mask.
Oh, okay.
Not 3 episodes ago, but 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, yeah, not 3 episodes. I don't know. Anyways, Arrow.
Because Arrow.
Because
Because segues, yeah, smooth. This is some
Alright.
Colt 45 quality radio right here.
Get me Billy D. Williams on the phone.
Cabana Podcast. So smooth you think you're smoking vanilla flavored extract.
Ah, right. Anyway. Okay, so obviously mid-season finale. This episode was called The Climb. I'll break it up into Hong Kong flashbacks and the main episode.
That is probably the best,
Yeah,
best
man.
thing you can do.
I was watching this thing and my brain attempting to work out how you were going to write a synopsis of this started melting out of my ears.
Well, I think I'm going to keep this format going forward, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's
probably
a good
the
move.
easiest and safest way to do it because technically, chronologically, Hong Kong all happened before anything anyway. So
Yeah. So in Hong Kong, we've got Oliver. He's talking to Maseo. I think I was pronouncing it Maseo last time I mentioned his name, but it's actually Maseo.
yeah, Terry threw me off earlier tonight because he was talking about that and he's like, Maseo did this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it took me like 2 minutes to realise he was talking about Maseo. I'm like, oh, Maseo. What? But he has a new name now. Oh,
He
sorry,
does
no,
have
he
a new
doesn't. I'll
name
get to
now.
that. We'll get to that later. Sorry, Braden.
we'll
I
get
do
there.
apologise. Take it away with Arrow.
All right, so Oliver talks to Maseo after torturing a suspect of Argus, which happened at the end of our last week's episode. Through this torture, he found out that an organisation is creating a deadly virus called Omega. Oliver and Maseo infiltrate the organisation's facilities to retrieve Omega, but find that someone has already stolen it. They review the security footage to find the thief and get more information out of him through torture. The thief says he doesn't remember stealing Omega. Maseo says that there is a way he could have been drugged into doing it and have no memory of it. Maseo is worried that China White might be able to track them. Back at Maseo's home, Tatsu and their son are attacked by China White. She captures Tatsu and takes her away. So that's the end of the Hong Kong side of things there. We'll jump into the main episode. So obviously the episode opens up with, and as we see many times through the episode, and I'm not going to point out every single time, but Arrow or Oliver climbing up the mountain.
Yeah,
Opens up-
Braden, just to quickly interrupt here.
Yes.
Did you notice this week that Oliver was climbing a mountain?
No
Because
way.
there was something I
You
noticed
know
he was
what I
climbing a mountain.
noticed?
No,
What?
we're
I
going
watched
somewhere with this.
episode, and I watched it again today, and then I watched Batman Begins, and I
Yep.
thought,
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
where we're going with it.
same fucking thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I'll get to that when we get to Batman Begins.
Yep.
Good to say we're on the same page, but please
Yep.
continue.
But yeah, I don't know if you knew this or not, fellas, but in this episode, he climbed a mountain. I'm kind of drumming it home like I did in that whatever other episode where there was just so much of the same fucking thing being thrown at us. But just so you know for sure, people at home, fans, Oliver Queen this week was seen climbing a mountain.
And that brings us to the end of this review, so on to the main event. Anyways, after we see him climbing a mountain, we see Arrow giving Captain Lance a tied-up criminal as a Christmas present. Lance takes the criminal inside, and Arrow is attacked by the League of Assassins and brought to see Nissa Al Ghul. Nissa tells Arrow that if he doesn't deliver Sarah's killer to the League of Assassins, then the League will start murdering Starling City's citizens. The person who will be doing the killing is revealed to be Maseo. At the cemetery, Laurel tells Thea that Sarah is dead, and makes Thea promise not to tell her father. Over at Palmer Technologies, Felicity tells Ray to forget about their kiss and go back to keeping their relationship professional. She goes down to Arrow HQ, where Oliver informs the group of Nissa's plans. Felicity runs DNA samples found on the arrows that killed Sarah to find that it is a near perfect match to Oliver's DNA. Oliver thinks that Malcolm Merlin planted the DNA on the arrow to frame him and put him in the League's crosshairs. Felicity finds that a flight came to Starling City from Corto Maltese the night before Sarah was murdered. Arrow then finds security footage from an airport and discovers that Malcolm did indeed come to Starling City the night before Sarah's murder. The footage revealed that Thea had joined Malcolm on that flight. Oliver realised that Thea lied about having contact with Malcolm. Diggle and Felicity say that it must have been Thea that killed Sarah, as her DNA is a close match with Oliver's and the trajectory of the arrows fired match her body size. Oliver refuses to believe it was her. Felicity receives a call from Ray, who was tracked to Verdun by pinging her phone's GPS. It's a little creepy if you ask me. He apologises for leaving Felicity after they kissed, saying he felt guilty. He tells her that he had a fiancée, but she was murdered during Deathstroke's riots months earlier. Over at Starling Police Department, Laurel's mother pays her a visit. She asks Laurel where Sarah is, and because mother's intuition, she can tell that she's dead. Laurel begs her not to tell Lance, as he couldn't take it.
That poignant break of just dead air there summed up that moment with me as well.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay.
It was silly.
Because Riddler.
Yeah.
There is part of me that I'll bring up later that I don't trust the mother as
You
much.
just keep all of yourself down, thank you. Don't bring any of yourself up. Don't get that excited.
I'm sorry.
Not till next week.
I'm sorry.
I need an adult.
Sorry, what was that?
I need an adult. Terry's gone molester. Honey Badger's going to badge.
Sorry, bro.
Oliver confronts Thea at her apartment and asks her if she flew from Corto Maltese with Malcolm several months ago. Thea denies the accusations. Team Arrow suggests that Oliver try asking Thea not as her brother but as Arrow. Arrow gives it a shot, crashing into Thea's apartment and demanding Malcolm's whereabouts. But Thea fights back and flees the apartment. Malcolm shows up at Verdun to see Oliver and tells him that Thea told him that she was attacked by the arrow. He reveals that Thea killed Sarah, showing him a video of the incident. Malcolm says that Thea only did it because he drugged her with a substance that made her open to suggestion, the same one that was used in Hong Kong previously. His purpose for doing so, he says, was to force Oliver to take the fall in Thea's place. Malcolm tells Oliver that when he tells Raz, he can face a trial by combat with the demon. If he survives the duel, all blood debts are settled. If not, he falls. Oliver goes to confront Ra's al Ghul. He tells Raz and Nissa that he killed Sarah, saying that Sarah begged him to do it when questioned. Oliver tells Raz that he wants trial by combat, to which he accepts. Oliver talks to Maseo, now called Sarab, who tells him that he has 12 hours to take care of his personal affairs and the fight will be in a sacred location in Nanda Parbat. Over at Palmer Technologies, Felicity confronts Ray about why he really bought Queen Consolidated. He shows Felicity his shrinking technology and the ATOM, the Atom exosuit. He tells Felicity that he'll use the suit to save the people of Starling and he wants her to help him.
You didn't have to add the to help him there. And he wants her
Yes.
to be on him while he does the salmon ladder. Holy shit! I think I just cracked the reason Mr. CrossFit is doing CrossFit in the first place. He's gonna have the missus wrapped around him, just salmon ladder and up and down. He just fell off the salmon ladder laughing on that one.
Yeah, he's on.
Just pick yourself up and dust yourself off, man. It's gonna be okay.
Get back on the CrossFit. Oliver visits Thea and tells her that he will love her no matter what, and then he goes back to Arrow HQ where he tells Diggle, Roy and Felicity that he's entering the duel alone. Felicity begs Oliver to kill Raz and break his vow not to kill, otherwise Raz will just kill him. Oliver travels high up in the mountains, just in case we hadn't cleared that up, of Nanda Parbat.
Wait, he was climbing a mountain this week?
What?
I didn't even notice.
To find Raz waiting, who tells him to remove his shirt. Oliver chooses two swords as his weapon. Raz explains how he's killed thousands of men before and that Oliver will die on this day. Raz enters unarmed, using his superior fighting skills to take a sword from Oliver. Oliver doesn't stand a chance and is mercilessly thrashed by Raz, who keeps one hand behind his back the entire time. Oliver manages to get one blow in, but then Raz stabs Arrow in the chest. As Oliver bleeds out, his life flashes before his eyes when Raz kicks Oliver off the edge of a cliff. And cue tears.
This was the best episode of Arrow they've ever done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yep.
Now, I have one. Well, there's a lot of things I loved about it, and a lot of just little things that, as a big Green Arrow fan, that were peppered throughout it, that I was like, "Oh, that was really nice." There was one major thing I didn't like, and it kind of sucked because I like part of it,
Yeah.
and that's the fact that this Ra's al Ghul, the way he's written, perfect.
Yeah.
Because, like, the fact he doesn't need a weapon, he's just dodging all this shit from Oliver, and then when Oliver lands a blow, he smiles with this whole, like, holy shit, this dude actually hit me.
Yep.
And even when he kills him, like, the whole prayer and everything, and the fact that he doesn't stab him through the heart and things like that, for me, it was this very, like, Ra's really respected in the way that and I think this is what Arrow was partially ripping it from a little bit, but there's actually a Batman comic where Batman has to do the same thing. In order to stop shit going down in Gotham, he has to climb to the top, fight Ra's, and Ra's stabs him through the chest on the side opposite to the heart, through the chest, and then Bruce is obviously, as in all comics, and as I'm sure is going to happen here, is dropped in a Lazarus pit.
Yeah, it's pretty much confirmed that there's going to be a Lazarus pit.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing I loved about what Raz said, and I'll get into what I didn't like about him in a minute, and I am calling him Raz in this one because, as I've said,
That's
I'm
what
just
they
going to...
call it.
Yeah, I'm going to call him by whatever they name the character, as much as it pains me every time I hear it. I love the fact that two things. I've killed thousands of men in my life, and you want trial by combat. It's been 68 years since, and this guy looks 40.
72, I think it was.
What's that?
67.
I thought it was 72.
No, 67 years. There's been 67 years since someone's asked me for trial by combat.
And
do
he
you
first-
accept? Of course.
And he first killed a man at 11.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing I didn't like though, and this was my anecdote, and I'll get into why I don't like it. Now, I don't like the dude playing Ra's al Ghul. He's not menacing. He's not even, to me, he doesn't even come across as that strong or that confident. He's just, I guess he looks old and weary, but now the reason that he's in this, there's a funny story behind this. When they first Arrow first kind of put out the feelers that Ra's, in Hollywood, to casting agents and shit, that Ra's al Ghul was going to be in this, one man came forward and said, I would like to do this role, and his name was Liam Neeson. And he said, I want to reprise my role. And so, obviously, the writers on Arrow started working towards that and writing the scripts very Liam Neeson, Ra's al Ghul centric. Then, scheduling conflict, I obviously can't do it, so they get in this other guy to replace it who's trying to do Liam Neeson doing Ra's al Ghul and adding the right kind of stuff with his body, and the directors and the production assistants know the right things to have him doing, but in terms of his performance, to me, it's very underwhelming. Yeah. It's not like, to me, Ra's al Ghul should be this kind of presence that even through the screen reaches out and grabs you, so that when somebody says kneel before the head of the demon and he turns around, he should should be turned around with fire in his eyes and like, you dare not kneel, with that kind of a look on his face, and instead he's like, I look like I've had like 19 concussions.
Yeah, it's really underwhelming because you want Ra's al Ghul. Every time I've seen him portrayed in a comic book or a animated movie, even Liam Neeson, it has a very... It's kind of hard to put your finger on it. It's almost like a Dexter-like calm psycho about it. That you want to walk on eggshells a little bit? Yeah. This guy doesn't.
The guy could snap at any moment, and looking at him, that it's just going to... If he's got that much time, you're dead.
Yeah. So for this actor, it's nothing against the actor. I haven't seen a lot of his work. I'm not very familiar with him, but it's just a very underwhelming performance. He's trying too hard to be something.
Well, I know that the gentleman himself is a former NRL player, fairly well done NRL player who retired and went into acting and things like that. Now, I guess Ra's al Ghul is a character who, as you say, he should have that at a moment's notice he could kill you. But he's also kind of meant to be he is there, like, in theory, if this is the Ra's al Ghul from comics, and it certainly feels like it, he is thousands of years old. So in terms of the way he carries himself and all that, he's very almost regal.
Yeah.
And this one, he tries to be it, but he just can't. He just can't quite get it. I heard a story, and I guess the other thing that I'm impressed by in this episode is that final fight scene. Do you know why they're shirtless?
Why?
The reason they're shirtless, have you noticed that Stephen Amell hasn't had a shirtless scene this season? No, seriously, hear me out. It's not to do with that, but he said he didn't want to do them unless they were necessary. Mm-hmm. Now, this scene, they're shirtless because it was not just that. I know it's tradition, but it was part of. Stephen Amell actually said that I want the traditional shirtless scene because it meant they couldn't cast a body double for him. Because these guys actually like doing their own stunts. There's a story in season 2 that Manu Bennett was like, I want to do all my own stunts, and in the end they had to have a rule that the stunts had because they hire stuntmen and they have to pay them.
Yeah.
And they have to get some sort of screen time to get
exposure.
Yeah, well, not exposure. They have to get some sort of screen time to get their full pay. You have to at least film 15 seconds to get your paycheck.
Yeah.
So they had a rule where if he was under the mask, they could use the stunt double for everything else. It was him. Yeah. And obviously, I think Stephen Amell subscribes to that school of thought because he apparently trained for 3 months for that sword fight. Yeah. The thing that I don't like about Raz is they cast a guy who obviously is meant to have this physical presence, and they obviously cast somebody who is a former athlete, and he's not doing the stunts.
Yeah.
And that, to me, it was really noticeable watching somebody who's clearly Ollie and somebody who's clearly a stunt double. Yeah. Like, clearly Stephen Amell and a stunt double, then jumping back and forth. But, you know... But I did like the one hand behind the back, and I like the whole, like, are you going to take a weapon? I will take yours when you're done with them. And he proceeds to do exactly that.
Did anyone else notice the little fuck you peck flex that Stephen did? Did anyone else notice that?
I think that was more of a... that was actually in the snow. You could tell from the incredibly white, pointy nipples that they would have. And I think that Stephen Amell's flex might have been...
that was a one-side peck flex like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen something online about it, and he actually... Someone posted it saying something about, like, fuck you and your body or something for making us all jealous or whatever, and he's like, it was actually really cold.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It looked like a shiver to me.
No, I don't reckon. It was...
See, I've walked around shirtless in, like, Canadian winter. And my advice to everybody at home is this. Don't walk around shirtless in Canadian winter, okay? I can't... Gentlemen, you'll understand this sensation perhaps, but have you ever been so cold... Like, you're wearing proper ski pants... Have you ever been so cold that even with warm pants on, your testicles are like, I'm going back in my body because the upper half is that fucking cold. Perhaps I can provide warmth to the inside. Yeah. That is what happens when you walk outside in British Columbia winter, man, without a shirt. Don't do it.
I just saw it and I thought it was actually quite funny. That's a little fuck you, Raz. And, like, it was that animosity between Raz and Ollie as well. Like, no, I'm not going to kneel. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I also like, is it Sayed? Is that his name now?
Where did I write it?
Salid?
Something like that.
Sagat?
Sarab. I don't know.
Sarab.
Yeah, I was really... I'm a fan of Sarab just in general because I like the whole... Even though he's obviously... Something's happened and we don't know what's happened that's changed him and caused him to...
They said something about...
something happened in Hong Kong.
After it happened. Something happened
after it... Ollie just said after it happened and, you know, Masayo's like, Masayo is dead, I am Salib or whatever.
I am a phantom.
But I like the fact that even when he's like, I know you didn't do this, Queen. And Ollie's like, I did. And he's like, I have no desire to see you die.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
So
you can tell he's still in there.
Yeah. I think it's just the fact, clearly whatever happened, he doesn't blame Oliver, which makes me think that Ollie tried his best to help Masayo.
Yeah.
And it's just going to blow up in both their faces and it's going to...
Yeah.
Masayo's going to go off the deep end or something.
Well, I don't know if you've seen it, Braden, but I was talking to Adam about it. Trolling through Facebook, I found the next 10-second clip from the intro for the next season. And it's Oliver's body on the cliff. And you clearly hear Masayo's voice.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
As saying Oliver Queen is dead. But to me, I take that as him confirming to Raz and all that he is dead. But I have a feeling Masayo's got something to do with Oliver coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually was thinking it might even be Malcolm Merlin.
See, I have a theory it's a Merlin, but it's Tommy. I'm still of and okay, I'm gonna get into something else from this week because I'll tie it all up with a bit of Malcolm Merlin talk. Now, first of all, Malcolm, I truly believe Malcolm Merlin loved Tommy.
Yeah.
As much as he was a prick and he was a hard ass to that kid, when you think about the fact that Malcolm, when Tommy was born, was probably already a member of the League, right? Or at least around that, in Tommy's upbringing, considering he joined once Tommy's mother died.
Yeah.
That, you know, from that perspective, I look at it that he's the type of father who, if your son dies, excuse me for a second, I need to cough. My apologies. Okay, now he's the type of father to me that is a hard ass and is a drill sergeant and is a prick. But when your son dies, if you have the way to bring him back to life, you do it. And I kind of feel like if Lazarus pits exist, don't you think Malcolm would take Tommy to a Lazarus pit? And I kind of wonder if Tommy isn't the one that rescues Oliver out of the pit. But part of me also wonders as well, looking at going forward, was Malcolm kidding or not when he basically just used Thea as a reason to get Ollie to kill Raz? Is that for real, or does he care about Thea? Like, what's the deal there?
No, I think it was for real because he said if Raz would die, then all his blood debts would be settled. So then he would no longer be after Malcolm Merlin.
Yeah. So Malcolm's
sort of
plan all
leans towards
along
maybe
has
it's
been
Malcolm
this?
who goes and helps him as well because he still wants Raz to die. Raz is still alive.
That's true. So do you think this was Malcolm's plan back when he went and got Thea in the first place?
Probably, quite possibly. I mean, he was after him at that stage. He
Okay.
needed to do something. So,
And just also how epically, like, I normally don't like Thea, but watching her just like leap off the side of that building,
yeah,
I was just like, whoa. The other thing that confirms me as well is that I thought Malcolm for sure would have been like, your brother is the Arrow, but she doesn't know.
no, she doesn't know.
So
He's got something. I reckon Malcolm will have to die sometime soon.
the only problem we're going to have going forward is if you do introduce a Lazarus Pit, which for those of you that don't know, a Lazarus Pit is basically a fountain of youth and a rejuvenation pool where Ra's al Ghul, if he's injured in battle, basically you can come back from the dead past a certain point, but if you're dead for too long or if you use the pit too many times, it causes insanity in the brain. For instance, as we'll see in a future episode of this podcast, one of Batman's Robins actually dies, and it's years later he gets put in the pit, and he comes back just batshit crazy because the being in the pit has driven him mad. Because he's been gone for too long. So that's something that I can see happening with Tommy. Tommy's been gone for a long time before he gets in the pit. He kind of fits that Red Hood. In fact, think about that. He's the Hood, and then you have a Red Hood.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be interesting.
just something to think about. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this episode. I know I've been given a lot of shit about the climb, but that's just because that's a consistent thing in the comics that Ra's al Ghul lives in what is realistically is meant to be Shangri-La. That's meant to be. He's meant to have the Palace of Shangri-La, which is at the top of this mountain that you have to. That's the reason nobody can ever find Shangri-La is because climbing the top of the thing, you die before you get there.
Yep.
So you've got to be something else to survive the climb. And even in the comics, Batman has had to climb, and as we see in Batman Begins, you have to climb the mountain to get to Ra's. That's a consistent theme, and I really like the fact that Arrow is so cool with embracing this. Like, personally, I thought the mountain that Ollie was climbing looked more impressive than the mountain in Begins, but the palaces, I thought, considering that Raz's palace is meant to be, 11th century Shangri-La, it to me looked like just, I understand it looked like it was built in the 11th century, but it just looked shit.
Yeah.
Whereas the one in Batman Begins looks like where you would expect a king to live in the 11th century. It's made of wood and it's made of stone, but it's so well finely crafted because you would be like, craft me the correct castle or I'll cut your fucking head off. So it's those little things. And I think the whole package of Raz isn't appealing to me. Like the fact that everybody around him acts like he is the proper Ra's al Ghul is great. Like Nissa being like Neil before the head of the demon. And imagine if at that moment it turned around and been Liam Neeson, that's that kind of presence where it would have come out of the screen and gone bang and punched you in the face.
Yeah.
So, but I just don't feel like this guy has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's the Jennifer Lawrence of this TV show. Needs a strong supporting cast around him, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But the episode was fantastic, as per usual.
Just while we talk about Arrow as well, Arrow and Flash, just something to confirm from last week. We discussed where they were shot.
Yes.
Gotham is indeed shot in New York, and both of these are shot in British Columbia, Canada.
Beautiful.
Vancouver, in fact. So
Awesome.
lovely sunny Vancouver, as we saw this week. No special effects needed there.
Yeah, that wasn't Ollie's comment in the crossover episode. You come from Central City, where it's always sunny.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay, fair enough.
So, no, I guess to talk about the good things or the things that I enjoyed, I liked the idea, because I know I bitched a few weeks about it back, don't bring in the OMAC project. It's just too complex for you to try to do in this format.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that it just seems to be that Ray Palmer's gone, so I found this OMAC technology and I've adapted it to make my suit.
Yeah.
That for me, I'm like, fine.
Done.
As a comic book nerd, I'm like, oh, that was just a nice little Easter egg that you put in. You're like, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Well, I don't like. I like the fact Felicity and Ray have really nice chemistry.
Yeah.
Because they do.
It
but
seems genuine.
Yeah, but I just don't like the fact they keep drumming home. Okay, I get it. Ollie loves her, but and I know that he thinks he's going to die and whatnot. But come on, man.
Yeah, just drop it.
See, I think it's going to be.
We know where it's. If you've read the comic book, I understand that maybe your core audience isn't just comic book fans, but you don't need to punch us in the face with that. They'll accept Ray.
Yeah, they
Once you start making him a hero. I mean, that story this week that he told Felicity made not only Felicity's panties wet, but a lot of the women watching at home had to wipe down the couch after they were done.
See, this is the interesting thing. What I see happening with, how we've been having crossovers here and there.
Yeah.
Is there a point in time where Ray Palmer goes to Central and owns Star Labs? Because I want to know where Star Labs are getting their funding.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, when Caitlin was talking about her career. I'm thinking, how are you getting paid?
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, and the other thing is we know Caitlin leaves eventually.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen why Caitlin leaves this week.
Yeah, we know why Caitlin leaves. So obviously the role of Caitlin or the position of Caitlin will have to be filled by someone, and at some point in time Harrison's going to go. So for me, the character of Ray Palmer and what he's doing...
He makes perfect sense.
He actually does make sense for him and Felicity to leave to Central City to run Star Labs.
Yeah.
So that actually makes sense. So you still have that dynamic.
Felicity fills the Caitlin role.
Yep.
So Cisco's the... Actually, that would work perfectly because that's a better dynamic.
Yeah, because Cisco still becomes Vibe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Vibe's a hero.
But you don't need to... You can wait for that to happen
that's
much
just it.
later.
That's just it. So you still have that sort of core dynamic group. You'll have tension between Felicity and Barry until Barry goes, oh, wait, you're with Ray. Well, good, because he seems like that type of character they're writing.
Yep.
And then he'll bugger off with Iris. Eddie will get annoyed and have a child and blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
So
I do... I like that theory as well because Cisco fits much better. That the character of Cisco logically fits much better with Ray Palmer because
Absolutely.
you can picture it being like,
Massive
well, I made this. Well, how'd you technology do this? Well, I use this nanotech. Nanotech, well, that's amazing. How'd you do it? Is that an iPad? Shit, yeah. And then Felicity's all like, boys will be boys. Tappity tappity tap on my computer because I wear glasses.
Then turns around and sees Ray doing the same and goes, oh.
I have a type.
Yeah, I have a type.
So, yeah.
So that dynamic works for me.
Here's a question, though.
Yeah.
Ollie says goodbye to everybody except Laurel.
Yeah, Laurel didn't feature a lot.
The thing that annoys me is they've made it so obvious those two are going to end up together. They are Batman and Catwoman.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand that there's CW fangirls out there who are like, we want Oliver and Felicity.
What is it, Olicity?
Yeah, but here's the thing. You take what you fucking get and you will like it.
Yeah.
And what you will get is the comic book fucking storyline that they're clearly sticking to, which is Dinah Lance and Oliver Queen. You dirty scumbags.
Stop trying to make Olicity happen. It's not going to happen.
Just get on team
There's my Mean Girls
Raylicity.
Relicity.
Hashtag no Olicity.
Hashtag no. Oh, I'm going to
Oh my God, put that on Stephen
I'm going
Amell's
to start.
wall.
Yeah, I'm going to start bombing. I will actually do that right now. Actually.
Yep.
Oh, hold on.
So yeah, that was this week's TV. And that's my rumours that I've heard going forward, or thoughts, or predictions, or whatever you want to call them. Has anybody else seen? Man, I really think that shot that I took to the face from Adriana has broken my brain because I cannot speak tonight. Has anybody else, either that or my brain, and perhaps my brain only works on podcasts when I'm rage-filled, and this week because I'm happy, it's all just like blah 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 blah. Dork.
I was a bit like that because when I was watching Batman Begins, previously, I'm writing a long ass list of everything I can think of that's wrong.
Yep.
I'm like, but I like this movie.
Yep, I was
What
like
do
that.
I
So
write about?
I've got a list of things, but this time it's a lot more of a balanced list.
Yeah.
It's like, when we were kids and we went and they had those ads on TV, they're like, have a balanced breakfast, eat your Cocoa Pops, but have a banana in it. That's what my notes are like. Nowadays, they're just like, eat your Cocoa Pops with putting soda on it, you fat diabetic little fuckers. Well, should we kick into this week's main event?
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
We have a
And now for our feature presentation.
Tell us, Mr. Wayne. What do you fear?
How do you know my name?
The world is too small for someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear.
Your parents' death was not your fault.
My parents deserve justice. I cannot let that pass. If you make yourself more than just a man, then you become something else entirely.
Which is?
A legend, Mr. Wayne.
Master Wayne.
Are you coming back for long, sir?
As long as it takes to show the people of Gotham their city doesn't belong to the criminals and the corrupt.
Bruce?
Rachel?
You were gone a long time.
I know.
Things are worse than ever down here. What chance does Gotham have when the good people do nothing?
Nomex survival suit for advanced infantry. Kevlar utility harness, gas-powered magnetic grapple gun.
What's that?
Another tumbler? Well, you wouldn't be interested in that.
I spent a lot of time being scared for you. When I heard you were back, but the man I loved, the man who vanished, never came back.
He's here.
Who? The Batman.
Gotham must be destroyed.
Gotham isn't beyond saving. It's over! Guy dresses up like a bat. Clearly has issues.
That's right, this week, it's Batman Begins. Now, the plot for this film starts out like this. As a child, Bruce Wayne falls into a well where he is attacked by a swarm of bats. He develops a fear of bats as a result of this. Later one night, as he and his parents are watching an opera, the Fledermaus in fact, Bruce gets frightened by some of the performers pretending to be bats, and as a result, he asks his parents if he can leave before the show finishes. As they leave the opera house from the back door for some unknown reason, they are targeted by Mugger, Joe Chill, who kills Bruce's parents, leaving him to be raised by the family butler, Alfred Pennyworth. As a result, or should I say Alfred Pennyworth, go Master Bruce and Alfred Pennyworth, Michael Caine. As a result, Bruce blamed his parents' death on his fear of bats. 14 years later, Chill is granted parole in exchange for testifying against Gotham City mob boss Carmine Falcone, the incorrect pronunciation, Falcone. Bruce goes to the trial intending to kill Joe Chill, but one of Falcone's assassins does so first. Bruce's childhood friend, Assistant District Attorney Rachel Dawes, berates him for attempting to take the law into his own hands and tell him his father would be ashamed of him. Bruce later goes to a nightclub where Falcone is and confronts him. Falcone. Got to get used to that. It's like race and Raz.
Yeah.
Falcone tells him that real power comes from being feared. Bruce decides to travel the world and learn about criminals before becoming a criminal himself. He is caught during criminal activities and taken to a prison where Henry Ducard offers to train him in the arts of stealth and fear as a member of the League of Shadows, aka the League of Assassins, led by Ra's al Ghul. After completing his long training period, Bruce learns the League's true intention is to destroy Gotham City, which it views as corrupt beyond saving. The League of Shadows has done this for centuries, only to cities that have been polluted with crime. Bruce refuses to join them and burns down the League's temple. Ra's is killed by falling debris, while Bruce saves an unconscious Ducard, leaving him with local villagers to be reared back to health. Soon afterwards, Bruce returns to Gotham, publicly posing as a playboy. He takes an interest in his family's company, Wayne Enterprises, which is now run by the unscrupulous William Earl. Bruce meets Wayne Enterprises' top scientists, the R&D legend himself, Lucius Fox, who shows him various prototype technologies, including the Tumbler, an all-purpose assault vehicle, and a protective bodysuit. Taking these, Bruce finds an entrance to the cave under his well, confronts his fear of bats, and creates a workshop, taking up the identity of Batman. As Batman, he intercepts a drug shipment and provides Rachel with the evidence to convict Falcone, empowering the honest Sergeant James Gordon and the Gotham Police to arrest a previously untouchable criminal. Falcone and his henchmen are declared mentally unfit for trial and transferred to Arkham Asylum by the corrupt Dr. Jonathan Crane, who has been using Falcone to import drugs that cause terrifying hallucinations. Crane exposes Falcone to the toxin whilst wearing a burlap mask, driving Falcone insane with a fear of the Scarecrow. In order to keep Falcone in Arkham. So, whilst investigating Crane, Batman, also exposed to the drug, set on fire and thrown out an open window into an alleyway, is rescued just in time by Alfred and given an antidote by Lucius Fox. Rachel goes to Arkham, where Crane reveals that he has been dumping the toxin into Gotham's water supply before dosing her with it. She is rescued by Batman, and they escape in the Tumbler, inoculating her and giving her 2 vials of the antidote, one for Gordon and one for mass production. Meanwhile, Gordon finds out that the compound has been laced into the entire city's water supply, but can only cause harm if inhaled. At his 30th birthday celebration at Wayne Manor, Bruce is confronted by Ducard, who reveals himself to be the real Ra's al Ghul. Bruce expels his guests so that they will be safe, leaving him alone with Ra's and his men. Ra's reveals the League's plan to destroy Gotham. The group has conspired with Crane and stolen the powerful microwave emitter from Wayne Enterprises, intending to vaporize the city's water supply so that the toxin will trigger mass hysteria and violence. The League sets fire to Wayne Mansion, and Bruce is saved by Alfred, again, who takes him down to the Batcave before the mansion collapses from the fire above. As the League begins to unleash the toxin, Batman rescues Rachel from a mob and indirectly reveals his true identity to her before pushing Ra's onto the monorail train that is carrying the emitter toward the city's main water distribution centre. Gordon uses the Tumbler's cannons to destroy a section of the track support. Batman overpowers Ra's and says that he will not kill him, but he does not have to save him either, before escaping from the train car, leaving Ra's to die as the train collapses and explodes. Batman becomes a public hero, but loses Rachel, who cannot bring herself to love both Bruce and Batman. Bruce buys a controlling stake in the now publicly traded Wayne Enterprises, fires Earl, and replaces him with Lucius Fox. I guess he didn't get the memo. Gordon, now promoted to lieutenant of the Gotham Police Force, shows Batman the bat signal and mentions a criminal who leaves Joker playing cards at a crime scene. Batman promises to investigate and disappears into the night. And this is how you make a Batman origin.
Oh yes, oh yes.
So, gentlemen, I send the floor over to you.
You can start off here.
Why, thank you. It had been quite a few years since I'd seen a Batman film before I saw this one. I didn't really know what I was going to get into when I first... Because I actually do have very vivid memories of watching this. I saw it at the cinema. I made a point of that. Bought myself a Batman shirt. Went in full nerd. Not full costume nerd, just a Batman shirt.
What a geek.
You should have seen what I did at the Star Wars.
What kind of a jackass wears just a Batman t-shirt?
Well, would you like to
days or something?
see when we do like a different podcast? I'll tell you about the time I went to the Star Wars Episode 2 premiere. But I went
I
in
bet
there.
you're the kind of guy that owns a Batman belt buckle as well, aren't you?
No, not yet.
I bet you are.
Not yet.
I bet you're one of the. I bet you're one of those guys.
I'm one of those guys.
Yes, so am I. I'm being facetious. I'm sitting here wearing a Batman belt and a Batman t-shirt. I was hoping Terry was going to call me out for the visual pleasure of the listeners at home.
No, not really.
He's no good at this radio stuff.
Not really. But when I
Not really.
Not really.
It is.
It is. When I actually sat down and watched this for the first time, I was elated, I think would be the word, because it was gritty enough.
Ooh.
I've been reading at the Thorth after I went to the Thirketh.
Well, if you don't, for those of you at home, if you don't know what a thesaurus is, start with the dictionary, then work your way forward.
Yeah. So basically, it was gritty enough for me because I was older, obviously. It was very well written. The character depth was at a point where you could understand it took a little bit to go with it, but you didn't feel tired at the end of the movie. So for me, this is possibly one of the best Batman films I've seen.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Adam's swinging his mic close to his mouth, so I didn't know. I was going to get a verbal tirade. Yeah. So,
Hang on. Are you ready?
what?
Terry,
Yeah.
so far your points have been very accurate, and I agree with them completely, and I wholeheartedly endorse your assessment.
Thank you. So,
Enjoy that. This is probably the only one you'll ever get. Scumbag.
so for me,
Braden, you're a good guy too.
Okay.
so it's definitely the benchmark for origin films in general for me as well, because I've always found origin films from DC in comparison to Marvel, and I've said this in previous podcasts, DC requires a bit more of an adult palette, whereas Marvel's very playful. So for me, for them to start off with a very gritty way of starting the Batman, rebooting the franchise after it was completely ruined by Joel Schumacher. This was a very good...
Really? I thought you loved Batman and Robin. I went back and listened to last week's episode, and you were just praising it.
Yeah, sure. So to reboot an icon like this is a very, very good way, and I think Bob Kane would actually be very happy the way it was shown, to be completely honest. If I do have niggles about it, it's only real small...
Whoa. Only guys like Diggle can use that word.
No. The small issues I have with the film, then, is that more PC?
Yeah, that's less likely to affect Black Lance. Hey, we came up with something this week. What was it? He's Detective Diggle. We've decided to PC up his name now, Braden. He's no longer Black Lance. He will now be Detective Diggle.
That's right. And he doesn't say man, he says son.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. So Diggle's all like, Oliver, man, you got to come to your senses, man, because you're not yourself, man.
Yeah.
Whereas Detective Diggle's all like, Barry's son, you got to come to your senses, son. You're not yourself, son.
He says it in a very loving and warm way. But anyway, we're getting way off topic. So, there was no segue. We just jumped the track. So, for me, Batman Begins is like an 8.5 out of 10. There's like small parts of me just looking at it going, like the Tumblr chase scene, which I'll bring up later on, or Adam might bring up later on. But for me, it's possibly the best reboot to a franchise I've seen. End of story. Swinging the mic away.
I disagree with that just for one reason. That is because the Batman films have always at least been constantly Batman. The Captain America films that initially came out in the 70s were not Captain America. Therefore, the best reboot, Captain America.
Oh, okay.
Technicality.
So I haven't seen... No, I haven't seen the Captain Americas from 1970, so I didn't go to film school.
I'll tell you what, mate, they suck. Let me put it that way. Like if you thought...
Like Joe Schumacher.
I was going to say, if you thought Batman and Robin gave you brain damage, oh man, the second Captain America film, in fact, Captain America has actually been rebooted twice now. There were films back in the 70s, and they sucked hard. And then they made another one in the 90s, and Red Skull had the most rubber-looking face, and Captain America, they attempted to make him exactly like the comics with the ears coming out of the side of the mask, but because they couldn't obviously work out how to make the fabric work that way, he had plastic ears.
Okay, we'll just leave that at that then.
So, in Chris Evans, I trust on that note. So, yeah, that's the more successful reboot. Not to go off topic of Batman there, but...
Yeah.
Just wanted to call you out your bullshit since I've been so complimentary to you so far.
Okay, that's cool.
Now let's hear from Braden, because I'm sure he's got thoughts that are actually useful to us.
Well, I love this movie as well. This is, I put this pretty close, if not on par with The Dark Knight. The characters I really enjoyed. Liam Neeson's great. I love the Scarecrow. I like the origin story at the start, and I kind of like how they didn't sort of just go origin story and then the rest of the movie. They sort of filtered it in bits, and I really like that. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's a nice crescendo.
Yeah. I didn't take any notes whatsoever, so I'm just doing it off the top of my head. I guess one of the things I probably didn't like about one of the main things I didn't like about it, which was at the start, sort of when Liam Neeson's come in first time and he's going, "Oh, Bruce Wayne, come train with us." I just didn't understand how that came about.
I know now that you bring it up, that's a very good point. Like all of a sudden, Ra's al Ghul, because Riddler.
The reason I took away from it.
Okay,
right.
Do tell.
They're in a place that's obviously a prison that houses quite a lot of prisoners and some pretty hardcore prisoners, right? Meaning that wherever it is overrun and corrupt, much like Gotham. Now, when Ra's comes to sack Gotham later, he makes the comment, "Look how it was so easy for us to infiltrate the infrastructure."
Yeah.
Which means he's probably got men in that prison. Which means that, as he said, it's very hard for Bruce Wayne to disappear. Somebody obviously at some point has gone, there's an even if it's just...
Yeah, but what would his interest in Bruce Wayne be? Why would he just go, you know what, Bruce Wayne, I'm going to...
I actually think it's sort of covered because...
they make a comment, as Gotham favoured son.
He's about to, he's about to leave the League of Shadows as basically a general of this crew. And he said it's going to be very easy for you to be as part of Gotham's elite.
He's Gotham's favoured son.
Yeah. So basically, they pretty much picked him because he can infiltrate so smoothly. Like, "Hi, I'm back." It's
he's the perfect way into Gotham.
Yeah. And whoever he
that's why it is. But I think it's also just a fact of okay. Imagine this. Obviously, wherever they are, it's Ra's al Ghul country. It's where his house is. It's his home.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that prison didn't look like it had a lot of white people in it. It was Joel Schumacher's hell. There were no white people, right? So. You're running that prison.
Every single person there spoke English.
Well, yeah. Well, what I'm thinking is, right, the warden or whoever's corrupt has clearly gone to whoever the League member is and been like, there's an American here.
Yeah, American in that prison would
stand out. And that, Raz, they may just even take him a photo. If they're planning to sack Gotham and they know things about Gotham, like he says later on, your parents' death galvanized the city and, brought about things for a little while. If he looks at that photo, then it is like, that's my way in. He's clearly desperate. He's clearly angry. I can use this, manipulate this for my gain.
Yeah.
It's almost I guess, looking at it as we discussed earlier, it's almost like what Malcolm's doing with Thea.
Yeah. Well, I guess that makes sense.
Any other notes, bro?
I did have something. I forgot what it was now.
It's kind of hard to take notes on this film because, I've seen it quite a few times, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's
also something not worth... The hard part about this film is that part of what is, I guess, enjoyable listening about our podcast is that when we get angry about things, we get quite fired up about them.
Yeah.
And when something's good, we're like, yeah, this was good.
It becomes a mother's meeting,
and I can't yell at you. I can't yell at you when you're like, this was good. I can't be like, Terry, what is wrong with you? When you're like, this was good, and I'm like, yep.
That's...
See you next week.
Basically.
Well, would you like... Sorry?
I liked Bruce and Alfred's relationship in this. It was the way it should have been.
Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
But, I know how to talk to Master Bruce when he's feeling down, because sometimes you got to pick yourself up, you know what I mean? Sometimes you get a script and you're like, do I want to do this script? And then they give you a lot of money and you're like, fuck it, I'll do the script, eh? I'm Michael Caine, I'm a butler or some shit. I think I got a cane. I like the fact he hit a dude with a cane too.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And a golf club. I was like, fuck yeah, Alfred, I love it.
I hope you're not from the fire department. And it's just, there's those little bits of cheese in it as well. It's little bits.
I like the fact I noticed this, that the only person that Bruce ever, he smiles at Rachel in a very like, I love you kind of way.
Yeah.
But Alfred is the only person that can ever make Bruce
Actual
smile in a way that's like that was, and I like that about him.
Yeah.
I also, in the same way that I like his relationship with Lucius, I really like Lucius Fox. They make Lucius Fox make so much sense, and in the comic books, Lucius Fox knows the deal.
Yeah, he knows how it is.
Because he when he's put in charge of Wayne Enterprises, he kind of figures it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, a lot of this shit is like Batman. Are you Batman? And Bruce is like, no. And Lucius is like, I'm pretty sure you're Batman. And Bruce is like, no. And then Alfred's like, I already told him you're Batman. Looks like I've been... Oh, sorry, no, wrong Alfred. He's like, I've already told him you're Batman, sir. And I've roofied up a woman and put her in the cupboard for you. So... Yeah, I like the fact that, and I like that in this one, what I really like about this Batman, and they made it really clear in this film, even with the end with Raz and the whole, like, I don't have to kill, I don't have to kill you, but I have to save you either.
I won't kill you.
And then he tells Rachel without telling her that he's Batman, and, Lucius, he's clearly like, hey, you don't have to tell me, but don't think I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And Bruce is like, yeah, that's fair enough. And then I like, I know we haven't done it yet, and we'll talk about it next week, but a preview for that is I like the fact that when he goes to talk about his bat suit, it's clearly like the schematic for the bat suit and everything, but clearly they've never actually had the conversation, I don't think, where Bruce has been like, yeah, I'm Batman. He just walks in, it's like, I want to do this. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is for spelunking? Yeah, I hit my head a lot when I'm spelunking down. And the things on the top of the mask there? Oh, no, well, that's where I can spool my cable. Oh, yeah, that's practical. That's practical.
What's that? You want this car in black? Yeah.
I love that line. Does it come in black?
Yeah.
Bruce is nice in this film.
I also like the fact he drives a Lamborghini Murcielago. I like that. And for people who aren't listening, Murcielago is Spanish for bat.
Oh.
So
on Espanol.
Espanol. We're going to broadcast this in Spanish as well, so it's going to make a lot more sense to people.
On SAP.
Yeah. Fox 8, the Ocho.
Except we'll have to talk about it differently, so when things come on, we'll be like, Ole, Rina!
That was a massive anticlimax there. But, I mean, it's kind of hard not
That's what your girlfriend says, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's all right, it's fine. She's not my girlfriend. It's my fiancée, but, a bit more advanced than you are. Relationship-wise, just not in age.
I'm like Bruce Wayne. I'm a playboy who can't be tied down because I have a... who wants to...
You're saying that because El Presidente is out for this evening.
I'd say it if she was here to her face. She knows how I roll. I'm a rare catch, a rare beast that you need, like a lion in the wild. You need to allow it to
breed with as
come
many
to
as you
you.
can.
And, I'm not going to breed with. I've made my pick. I'm comfortable staying with the one that I chose.
Yeah.
And she understands that you don't force excellence, and warriors do what they do in the time when things are right. Batman does things when the time is right to act, and she understands and respects the Batmanness of me, so she might get a ring on her finger when the time's right.
Yeah.
But for right now, I don't need to be like you two suckers. And
You
like
mean
locking
before the
each-
roofies take full effect?
Yeah, I don't have Alfred yet to roofie her, so it's kind of point. So yeah, not like you two suckers being all like, time to get married.
Oh, well, you got to grow up someday. Peter Pan.
Hey man, don't hate, participate. Drink your haterade somewhere else. All right, would you guys like to hear my notes?
No.
There you go.
All right, this is what I got. Batman Begins, 2005. And because we seem to get stuck in these conversation topics, I've put it here right at the top. The budget for this film, $150 million. The box office, 374.2. So, a little bit of a success.
A little bit, yeah. I mean...
Compared to what was to come, that's fuck all, but a little bit of a success.
That's American box office, wasn't it?
I think that one was... Oh, yeah, it would be. That would be American, not
American,
one, yeah.
So
They probably went after seeing Joel Schumacher. Everyone just hated Batman.
Yeah. Or they were afraid.
Yeah.
They were very afraid because the haunting
Actually, I wanna make a
freeze.
side note. I think we posted on the fan Facebook.
On the fan page.
On the fan page. Joel Schumacher's apology.
No, I put it before the last episode.
Did you?
Yes, the
Yeah.
tag
Did you
up
actually?
for last
Did
episode.
you
Right, I'll
pay
listen to it
attention
on
to
the
what he
live
actually had to say?
He was sorry if he offended anybody with his portrayal of it. That wasn't
He
his
wanted
intention.
to apologise to the fans of Batman Forever if they were hoping for another Batman Forever. He apologised that it wasn't like Batman Forever.
Yeah.
That was the apology. Go back and watch it.
Okay.
Winter ice freeze cold.
I thought you'd like that. Did you like it?
Oh, I love.
Did you like the shout out as well? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I apologise. I'll make sure I give him a proper credit next week. But Adelaide artist from right here where we record, Adelaide, South Australia, actually was the DJ behind that Mr. Freeze song.
Beautiful.
I'll put the link up for it on my Facebook so you can go and like it on his official YouTube page. But excellent outro song, I thought.
Beautiful.
Now, back to my notes for this week, my start of my notes. Okay. Now, before Bruce is taken in by the League of Shadows,
Yeah.
right, he's just a dude in a prison. That's it.
Whooping smarts.
No, well, how does he learn to whoop ass? He's just a dude at this point.
Well,
like, okay, so if I decide to run away from home and then I get really hungry, so I steal food, and then I steal something that I'm not really stealing because it's from my own company's stock anyway, and then I get put in jail, I'm suddenly going to learn how to fight. Sorry, what was that?
It has been quite a number of years.
7 years.
Because they even had him declared dead and everything.
Yeah, but he still hasn't. I don't think. Yeah, but I get the feeling it's been a number of years. But I think he was at the League of Shadows for 2 or 3 years. Yeah. That wasn't like a week. I know it was a montage, but that wasn't a week. That was a decent amount of time because his hair actually
how he
changed.
could be at the League of Shadows for 2 or 3 years and not realise that they kill people.
Oh, I mean, you're talking about the fight scene in the jail,
I'm talking about right at the beginning before Ra's al Ghul comes to see him, where he beats the shit out of 7 guys.
Yeah.
Right. And like, obviously, he must have studied ninjutsu or something because he does all these moves on Raz where Raz is like panda tiger knee lift.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe.
That was just something for me that was like, well, you're kind of trying to show me. I get what you're trying to show me with the origins, and I get the fact that you clearly had a tight amount of time. But that's to me is a big question of like, okay, so the guy can just epically whoop ass already. Why does he need to like? If you can kick 7 guys' ass,
yeah,
you're already at the point where you're probably within a year of training by yourself. You're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why do you need the League of Assassins? Sorry, that one was just got to me. Oh yeah, Bruce's beard in this film at the start of it. They got the Asian Ra's al Ghul's fake facial hair. Looked good.
Yep.
Liam Neeson's fake facial hair. Looked good. Christian Bale's fake facial hair. I look like a chia pet.
Yeah. It didn't look great.
What?
After 7 years, if you haven't gone to like Jesus spec.
Well, no, but he's grown his beard. He obviously, I think in movies and TV, superheroes grow their beard at a weird pace. Because like I said, look at Oliver on the Island.
Yeah, good point.
No beard yet.
No beard yet.
You know, they clearly only, I think you don't grow a beard for like 8 years and then in like 2 months it grows to your balls. That's how it works, apparently. Okay. There's a moment where they're fighting on the ice.
Yeah.
And and Raz is getting into Bruce and all that. And he's like, death does not wait, and all that. And all I could think was we're just having the Yoda and the Dagobah system here. He's like, fear leads to death. Death leads to anger. Anger leads to you not becoming Batman.
So I think that's the
Batman begin. You don't.
Yeah, death does not wait. Death does not wait. Give you time or something like that, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
I think, that's the same scene where you're complaining about how he already knows Panther and Tiger style Kung Fu.
That's after that. That's just where Raz is just training him. I'm just saying that all I could think for that was...
Oh, okay, yep.
Was that he just, to me, mimicked the Yoda scene.
Yeah, it's pretty much seems like a standard, like, your training. All you need is like a 1980s pop song in the back and Sylvester Stallone running along somewhere. You get the montage, the training montage.
Yep.
Where everyone needs a montage.
Now, there's a few things one thing that really bothered me in this film. Okay. The Waynes get shot.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Yep.
And there's no blood.
Yep.
But a girder from the ceiling, or a bunch of girders from the ceiling fall on Raz, and he's got blood trickling out of his mouth and stuff. I don't understand why they like things that would actually cause a great deal of blood in real life, things that would cause a great deal of blood, they won't put blood on it. But things that you're like, okay, you want to show me that he's dead because of internal injuries, so you'll show me blood. It's like, it's just, to me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's just a rating thing of if you show that much blood, you're instantly, in America, they're like, you've got to have an R rating, too much blood or something. But just to me, it's just really annoying.
Yep.
I don't know if it's just because I understand crime and all of it, then what I'm likely to see at a scene like that.
Yeah.
But it just really annoys me when I'm like, even like they're wearing
white.
Okay, I get it. You might not see it on on Bruce's mother's dress, Martha Wayne's dress, because
Yeah.
it's dark. Bruce's father is wearing a white shirt, and he clearly got shot in the chest.
Yeah.
And there's no blood. There's not a drop of blood on that shirt.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That is some seriously quality like starch in under that shirt because it's repelling stains. It's made of Teflon. All right. Oh yeah. So the Waynes die, right? And then apparently they just can't have servants.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, it's still a billionaire. Oh, so you can still afford the servants. Yeah, but they can fuck off.
We'll keep Alfred, but we just won't keep Rachel.
I
and
just
her mum.
don't. Yeah, why wouldn't you? We won't keep the cook, or well, he's just lost everybody. I think his best friend had better fuck off too.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ! Why don't you just take him outside, Alfred, and just be like, "All right, come on, Master Wayne, it's time to strap you up and kick you in the bollocks." You know, every Wednesday at 12, we kick you in the bollocks. Come on, out you come. I did like Raz's training of Bruce, though. I thought it was very Ra's al Ghul to me to train like that and to, have the like guys attacking him with the sticks while he's trying to teach him, clearly agility, and then the wall of guys, and and I like the fact that when Bruce cuts the other guy's arm so that he tricks Raz, that look on the real Raz's face, which obviously we don't find out till later that Liam Neeson is Raz, but the look on the real Raz's face where he's kind of like, holy shit. It's almost the same thing that I think in Arrow that guy was trying to reflect when Oliver actually hit him, where it's like, wow, somebody actually overpowered me. It's been 117 years since this has happened.
Well, I think keep going.
All right, then anger. Raz once again channels Yoda by talking about anger.
Yeah.
And Bruce's anger and how it drives and all of this, which is once again anger leads to the dark side side bad, but still wipe out Gotham.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bruce comes back, sees Alfred, and he's all like, "See, you haven't given up on me yet." Never, Master Bruce. I won't give up on you till the third film when I'm going to fuck off because it's too hard. But I'll never give up on you for 2 films. Just disappointing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, how many... Okay, so Scarecrow's amount of toxin that's in the system, right? How many flowers do you reckon it took to make that?
A lot.
Did they just wipe out the entire mountains? Is that why it's bare when Bruce is climbing up there? Because they've been preparing this for so many years, picking all these flowers?
That's it.
That's why it's like it's a rare flower. Why is it rare? Because we picked all the other ones.
There is one left down there for you. Just the one. In the snow. Just find that one.
Everybody else liked the fact that Bruce is very safety conscious in this film. Like, he's spraying up his suit with his mask on. I don't want to get the fumes. Batman.
Got to look after the lungs. A lot of cardio
I
involved.
just loved it. I was like, yeah, Bruce taking care of himself. So, okay, let's talk science again for a minute. This microwave emitter vaporizes water, right? Humans are made up of like 90-some-odd% water.
Yeah.
How do we survive this? Like, legitimately, that should delete anything that goes past it's human. It should just be going and just turning into dust. Yeah, somehow it just it only need pipes. Only pipes.
Only pipes and water.
Dorpy, only pipes.
It's like when they said they turned it on when it was on the ship.
Yeah, I thought that told me
the ocean should just go.
See, that would have made sense, and it kind of the initial line makes sense when the guy's like, all the crew are missing, presumed dead. Yeah, well, no shit. If you turn that thing on, they would fucking disappear, and I would think they were dead. But somehow it can only hurt the crew of the boat, obviously.
Yeah.
Batman interrogating Flash, where he's like yo-yoing him up and down the building, and I love that. And then when he drops him, and just as he's about to hit the pavement, like stops him, then cuts him loose.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really did.
It's good.
I thought that was great. They nail a lot of Batman in this. Bale does a better job as Bruce Wayne than Batman. But in this one, I will say, I also found his voice better. His voice wasn't that until he was trying to do the interrogation, where it made sense for him to suddenly put in that, like, where are the drugs going? Because it would be like, holy fuck. But I like the fact for the rest of it, it was just we need to find out where this is going, Commissioner. It was just kind of a whisper.
Yeah.
So I liked that.
It's a lot worse as the movies go on too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets really bad. It becomes full-blown throat cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, by the third one, it's just
gargling
stupid.
marbles.
Yeah. Okay, Rachel gives Bruce a present.
Yeah.
And Bruce just unwraps it and drops all the shit on the floor because I guess
Yeah, I noticed that too.
he's just like, Alfred needs something to do, slack cunt. Just stands around doing nothing. Useless bastard.
That's when you need Tim Burton's Alfred.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight after that with like a little pooper scooter thing.
Exactly. Okay, now, if the... Okay, they're mixing up Scarecrow's plan. They're in the bottom of Arkham Asylum and they're mixing up all this potion. And there's guys that are spooning out like heapfuls of powder, right?
Yeah.
Now, this stuff only affects you if you get the vapor in you, right?
Yeah. Airborne. It's an airborne neurotoxin.
But only via vapor. Like, you can breathe in the particles don't do it. It's the vapor that does it.
Yeah.
So, I have two more questions.
Yes.
One, when they're sorting this shit out in the factory, why do they need to wear masks when there's no vapor? And number two, this shit's in the water and it's been in there for months, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you have a shower?
Not as often as I should.
But in theory.
Once a day.
Brayden, how often do you have a shower?
Yeah, once a day.
Okay. Which means, now, just another question. Do you guys like your water, to be above cold?
You're bringing up the hot water theory.
Yes. Yeah.
Or what does hot water do?
See, the more upsetting thing is, for me, if it's been in there for months, I would have had to replace my shower head quite a few times. I'd wonder what's going on with the water. So,
Well, you would think the vapor would release that. Like, everybody would be coming out of showers being like, man, I'm tripping balls every time I have a shower.
well, it is focused in the narrows, so it's the
point.
narrows.
They're probably just like, whoa, man, have you taken a shower lately?
God, have a shower.
Showers, no, you got to get in there, man. It's better than crack.
And then when they do get in the shower, they're probably on crack anyway.
Yeah.
So it counteracts. Oh, wait a minute. So crack counteracts it.
There you go.
Yeehaw. Because Riddler.
We found the way to solve the crack problem for your toxin. So Batman goes on a big chase and Blues Brothers style wipes out about 450 cop cars. Are there any cop cars left in Gotham at the end of this film?
I don't know, but I'm just glad they didn't follow the Joel Schumacher theory where it changes time period. Like next one would have been in the 1960s and the 30s for the last one.
Now, you wanted to bring up, this is the point in the film where there's the rooftop chase.
Oh, yes.
You wanted to bring up something about that.
Well, it's described as a tank. Now, the Tumbler, the Batmobile's
It's a black
tank.
tank.
Now, the Batmobiles had a lot of incarnations over the years. We had Burton's and Schumacher's. Now we got Nolan's.
66.
Then we got 66.
Turbines to speed. Bitch!
And we also have Frank Miller's version. So, taking into account Frank Miller's version and Nolan's version, which would presumably weigh in excess of 3 ton, it jumps from an on-ramp, from a parking lot, through a little blown-out chunk of wall onto a roofing structure.
First of all, it goes from the parking lot onto a concrete roof.
Oh, yeah, concrete flat roof.
And then from the concrete roof, it goes onto like a pitch roof of a church, I believe it is.
No, yeah, and it's got like that very American style where it's got windows sort of jutting out.
Yep.
I know what roofs are actually, like the skeleton of a roof is. There is no phenomenal way that car wouldn't have gone crashing
through
down. Okay, as soon as it lands, it's sort of like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. Out for a little bit, then go straight through.
Yep.
So that's my little beef.
Playing devil's advocate.
Oh God, here we go.
What if in that? No, not if. It's not because. What if that this is an old church somebody's bought out now, in the roof they've lined it so that it's got lots of metal and shit, so that police copters can't see in, and they're using it to grow weed.
Because weed.
Or they're using it to grow. We never got this. Oh, well, I guess they could have done it probably, but
They're growing
using
the blue
They're using it
flowers.
to blow venom. Foreshadowing for later films, but they're growing venom in there, so it's a whole nice reinforced roof that he just happens to luck out on the reinforced roof.
No.
Because he's Batman.
Because Batman.
I got the specs on it. It weighs 2.5 tons.
2.5 ton.
Yeah.
That's 2 of my jackaroos.
One of your butt cheeks.
Oh, you're a luckier ginger. Fuck.
This is totally worth the pain I'm going to get later for that one, man.
No, you have no idea.
Okay, I know. First of all, I wanted to make a joke that I didn't write down, but I just remembered it now. Anybody else think it would have been slightly ironic if when Joey Chill went to kill Thomas Wayne, he dropped his wallet, he was like, "It's okay, man, chill." Sorry, I had to make that joke.
That wasn't a
now,
joke. That was
at Bruce's party,
Yeah.
there's this, like, I don't know, 50 69-year-old hag who's all like, Bruce, I must introduce you to this strange man. Ra's al Ghul, is it? And then Bruce is all like, you know, Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul is dead. You're not Ra's al Ghul. I watched him die. I watched him die, man. And then they have a conversation, and then Liam Neeson turns up and is all like, but what if a man is just a mystery, Mr. Wayne? And then he's all like, Raz and all this sort of shit. Where does this Biddy go? She just disappears.
She just walks away. I noticed that as well.
Yeah, she just walks away.
She literally just goes...
She's a member of the bloody league. She just drops a smoke tablet and disappears. I think Alfred might have been looking out for himself that night and roofied her. She's burnt to death in one of the like fourth bedroom on the left wing. Okay, I have a question because I couldn't work it out at the end. When Raz is explaining everything to Bruce and being all like, you know, we sacked London, we sacked Rome, I'm coming to take Gotham and all that.
Yeah.
And he talks about Bruce's parents' death.
Yeah.
Did he organise that? Because I kind of got the feeling
that's
like,
what I got from it. That's why I actually got it from it. Right, the League of Shadows were behind it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it in this Batman universe or Nolan universe,
yep.
He mentions that they were already trying. They tried something. Yeah, they tried something new. They tried economics.
Yep.
But people like your parents kept, you know, trying to rebuild the city.
Yep.
So basically, yeah. And I think that's where.
And then we killed him, but that galvanised it for a while.
Yeah.
Things were better, but now it's time to
sack it properly.
Yeah, it's time to burn it.
I think it's also. I think the reference of you walk up behind them and you stab them in the heart was actually sort of almost a reference to Joe Chill killing him.
Yeah, I can see that.
So.
All right. Well, if you get stabbed in the heart, you won't bleed, apparently. Now, Raz makes a comment. He fucks up Bruce's house.
Yep.
And then goes, you burnt my house and left me for dead. Now I return the favour. He didn't leave him for dead. He saved him and took him to a village to get nursed back to health.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Raz?
Yeah, Raz is... Well, as we know, Raz is bent in the head.
Just... Okay, now they get on the train, right?
Yep.
They're on the train.
Yes.
The microwave emitter's in the train.
Yes.
Raz pulls his mask off. That train has air conditioning, air being pumped into it so that it's not, you know, a giant metal tube of death.
Yeah.
How exactly is he going to survive the vapor that he's going to end up in there because it's travelling from underneath the train, sucking up into its airways
I don't know.
into the train?
I don't know.
This is the only problem I have with these films.
Did you
is
say
science.
because Riddler?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
He's the only one that doesn't appear in these films. It makes sense. Maybe that was going to be Batman 4 where we find out Riddler had the answers to all these questions.
There's part of me that would have liked to see how they went with Riddler.
Okay, my final note, there's something that really strange that I just can't work out why it happens at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, now, when Batman takes down Raz and he's all like, never mind, learn to mind your footing and all that kind of shit, and he's holding the two shurikens and he does the whole like, I don't have to kill you, but I have to save you either. He throws his shurikens and breaks out like a side window of the train.
Yep.
And then proceeds to blow the back off the train.
Yep.
And jump out the back. Why did he break the side window?
I didn't notice that.
Then, I don't know, there might be a physics thing where it actually creates a vacuum, like air rushes in from the window and then sucks out through the back.
Okay.
So it could be a physics thing.
Maybe.
Physics, because his cape does actually rely on...
All right, I'm going to put out something here.
You're
Mr.
gonna put out-
CrossFit, I know that you understand science. You've got I believe you're a mechatronic engineer or you design shit for battleships, so I get you that you're smart. You're kind of technologically towards Batman.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that he does that? Let us know. Let us know. You can be our oracle and write in and be all like, dumbasses. Here's why he does that. Fucking retards, Terry. Get your shit together.
Or
Okay?
even anyone who might possibly be listening.
Oh, yeah, anybody else can feel free to, obviously, as well. Please don't take that as just an invitation, Mr. CrossFit. I just know that he's most likely to send me a text message the day after this show goes up, being all like, yeah, so this is why you guys are dumb.
Because physics.
But he really does. He actually really likes the show, and I appreciate that. I sent you guys a message in our private chat, but I'll give a shout-out here because I thought it was a nice piece of feedback. He sent me a message earlier this week saying that because of our show, he didn't really have an interest in watching Flash or Arrow before he started listening to our show.
Yeah.
But we make it sound so enticing and so actually close to the comics that he really is a fan now of wanting to go back and watch them himself. So I think that's
That's
indicative that obviously some people do like our show where we take away the my poking fun at Terry and
That's
just a
not poking
ridiculous
fun.
humour.
No, that is abuse.
Poking the bear.
Poking the honey badger, which is worse than poking the bear.
That's true.
Oh, what have I done? But
So-
no, I think we should reward Mr. CrossFit, and he'll be receiving absolutely nothing in the mail for being a loyal listener.
A loyal listener.
Yeah.
Wow, that big sack of air. Let me send you a virtual high five. Now you're laughing, Terry. You're laughing. We sent the man a high five, and now you're laughing.
I'm laughing.
You don't have a heart.
Nope.
You say that
It's
I'm
almost
soulless
like
because I'm ginger.
I'm almost an honorary ginger.
Almost. You want to be as cool as me.
No, not really.
But yeah, those are my notes on Batman Begins. Any other notes, fellas?
No, that's the sad part. I've got
This was a really good film.
It's
I really,
annoying.
I highly. We've spent quite a few weeks being like, don't watch this shit. Watch it. It's good. I mean, I will say this, and perhaps this is just because I've watched. This would probably be. Oh, this would be getting close to the 25th time I reckon I'll watch this film.
Yeah.
Overall, I feel it's 10 to 15 minutes too long, just in terms of they could have tightened it a little bit.
Yep.
But I understand why it is as big as it is, because at the time it was like, we have to show why he doesn't suck.
Yeah. The hardcore fans knew why Batman sucked. It's just the general audience, because everyone got let down with Joel Schumacher's pile of neon crap.
Yeah.
They had to win over fans again.
Yeah.
So I think those figures you gave us were probably like the opening week or opening month figures. As it's like the Wayne's World thing, like they tell two friends, then they tell two friends,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden everything grows. So that's...
Well, I believe it made... It was either 36 or 56 million on its opening weekend.
Yeah.
So it had a really good, nice opening weekend.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, for The Dark Knight did as well as it did initially. You don't have an opening weekend like that unless somebody is fans of your first movie. You know, you just don't. I mean, for instance, Iron Man 1 had a good opening weekend. Iron Man 2 had a better one. Because people had seen Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, overall, I highly recommend watching this, and I'm quite looking forward to going back to, or not going back, I'm quite looking forward to next week and going forward and watching The Dark Knight. I think just simply because the review will be great. It is, in my opinion, the best film. So I'm looking forward to that quite heavily.
So am I.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So any last notes on Batman Begins?
I just come across something on IMDb here.
Yeah.
And it actually says that the title of this movie was going to be called Batman 5.
Batman 5, really?
Batman 5.
I'm so glad it wasn't.
Yeah, me too. And then they changed it to Batman the Frightening before moving to Batman Begins.
Yeah, Batman the Frightening it was going to be based around a very kind of different thing where Bruce has been Batman for quite a while, and basically the Scarecrow takes over Arkham Asylum and almost like the Arkham Asylum game.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
It would have been like that, but instead of the Joker being the main antagonist, imagine Scarecrow in that role where he's running all the things at Arkham and controlling the lockdown and pumping his fear gas in to freak Batman out.
Yeah.
And then you have that moment at the end where it's, you know, how the hell have you beating my serum? And he's all like, because mentally I'm stronger. So, yeah.
So I think Scarecrow is one of the most underrated villains.
Yeah.
Honestly, just the amount of stuff that you can do with Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Even in the game, like those.
I loved him in the game.
Yeah, he's really good in the game. Like,
I'm pretty sure Scarecrow is going to be a big part of the next game as well.
I really
I've got a
hope
gut
he is.
feeling.
He's not used enough.
Well, considering he's been such a big part of, you know, I look at Origins because it's made by a different studio. It's an expansion pack, but it doesn't. It's not canon to me.
Yeah.
Scarecrow is his presence is felt in City. His mask is in a certain place, and there's certain things that happen within that game that indicate that he's still around.
Oh, yeah.
So, considering that this next game is the wrap up of the trilogy, I do think Scarecrow will be in it.
Yeah.
And without the Joker, the Scarecrow is the only other one that, in terms of that roster, that causes anarchy on that much of a scale.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you know, especially if you let him loose in a city, I can only imagine how crazy that will go. So yeah, no, it's a good film. I highly recommend watching it. Is it the strongest of them? No, but it is the second.
It's a very close second, though. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, I would
very
agree
close.
with that. I would agree. I think this is in the high 8s, 8.5 to 8.8 range.
Yeah.
But as I'll give my rating for next week's, but next week's is just a stronger film overall.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I think a lot of that comes from the villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big shout out though to haven't named a man for this film. My man for this film, Gary Oldman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gary Oldman, Jim Gordon. As I maintain, there's only one person who could play Jim Gordon better, and that's Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
But this performance, the nuances, the compassion when he sees Bruce as a kid, and then the hard-assness when he's chasing Bruce down initially, when Bruce does his year one moment of, I'm here to help and whatnot.
Yeah, amateur Bruce. Fucking amateur.
Yeah, and I liked then as well when you see him becoming older and more developed. And I also like the fact that Jim Gordon strikes me as he's just some bloke's dad who, Batman lets play with their toys.
Yeah.
So he is all kind of like, oh, I want to get me one of them cars. And Bruce is like, you want to play with it? And he's like, oh, yeah, good to play with it.
Yeah.
I love him. He's dorky and he's relatable.
Yeah.
So, Jim Gordon in this is really nice. And their relationship, the way it develops at the end, that final scene with him on the rooftop at the bat signal talking about the Joker and all of that. I really liked that. And I liked the final line of, I never said thank you, and you'll never have to. I really like that because that is Batman of just like, why do you need to thank me? I'm just Batman being Batman.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that about wraps it up for us here this week. Are there any other notes you guys would like to?
No.
Anything you want to plug? Besides your butt?
Probably the fact that I'm a little sad we have to wait about 5-6 weeks for more TV.
Yeah.
Well, Gotham is back in the first week of January, I believe.
So you'll be busy.
Yeah.
Me and Bray won't.
It's all right.
I'll
You
find
guys can
something.
enjoy a break. You can try heckling me for once. It won't work, I'm a professional, but you can try heckling me for once.
Yeah, whatever. I don't lower myself to that standard.
Oh, you're above it. You're a star because you don't bully.
No, I don't bully. I
don't like bullies.
I don't like bullies.
But yeah, I guess the notes I've got, obviously, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Please get in contact with us. If you've got any emails you want to send us, it's from thebatcave.podcast@gmail.com. On Facebook, we're facebook.com/fromthebatcave. Please, please, please leave us feedback, leave us questions, whatever you'd like. And if you like the show, share it with your friends. If there's something you'd like to hear us review, even send that in. Take some fan ideas and stuff, and we'll go from there.
Give Terry something to do.
Yeah. So, yeah, join us next week for big episode 10.
Oh.
Our 10-centennial.
It's exciting.
When we celebrate the best film. I like the fact it lined up quite nicely for that.
Very nice.
So, yeah,
it's going
to be good times. Going to be good times. Well, on that note, from myself, Red Thunder, Adam Gerard, from the Honey Badger, Terry O'Neill,
hey,
and from the yet-to-be-named Say No to Drugs, Eat Your Vitamins, Say Your Prayers, Stay in School, Kids, because it's good for you, Braden Ahern.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you all later on. Awkward silence.
And who are you? I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Yes, I'm Batman.
Telegram. I am Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. You sound like Cookie Monster.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
I'm thirsty. I'm hungry.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Darling, I don't have to answer to you. I'm Batman.
I'm totally Batman. Clearly, I am Batman.
I am Batman.
This has been a Cabana production.